Brodes Media.
What is going on, everyone? What a blast this Sixers team is. Huh? Are you kidding me with that? Before we talk about it, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well. I greatly appreciate it. And real quickly, if you're looking to go to any NBA game, NHL game, NFL game, you can utilize the promo code Brodes at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off of your purchase. You're basically eliminating all your fees right there on the spot. It's a no-brainer. Get yourself to a game. It'll be awesome. $20 off. Go get a beer or two, huh? Free, just by utilizing that code. With that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. It's very rare for me on an Eagle Sunday to look in another direction, but that's how smooth and structured this 76er squad is right now, where on Saturday night they put on an outstanding performance in Chicago to keep the 6-game winning streak alive, and they're doing it so damn shorthanded that I'm mind blown and I'm almost lost in words here because of the way that they're playing. It's magnificent. And look, last night was an opportunity to show some growing experience from the young buck, Tyrese Maxey, right? We're talking about fourth quarter back and forth, losing the lead and then stepping up and making a nice jumper. And someone like Niang, who maybe did not have his strongest night to that point, comes up with a massive three. And Joel Embiid, who had a handful of turnovers, and maybe in the past that would have impacted the way that he played throughout, but he just changed his urgency, changed his mentality, and he balled out, giving you 30, grabbing a ton of rebounds, making a big shot. And I thought in that second quarter there was a nice frame that really showed that change of Joel Embiid, where there was a pick and roll, which led to him getting the basketball and getting fouled, going to the charity stripe, knocking down a face-up jumper, knocking down a transition three. So it showed the versatility, one, which is all over the map. I'm saying that in a good way. He's got so many areas of his game that is so damn important and hard to defend. But when things are tough and when things are ugly for you, you're not shooting the basketball as smoothly as you know that you can, to get him going there early, establishing, getting fouled, charity stripe, seeing the ball go through the hoop, and then right from that moment, bang, it kind of changed from him. And yeah, I mean, look, he had 6 turnovers. He finished with 30, 15, and 3 at the end of the day, but there were times where he was getting frustrated, he was getting annoyed, he was getting bothered. And I feel that the older, or I should say the younger, if we're looking back in the earlier stages of his career, there would be times where something like that would happen and it would snowball out of control. I know he threw a punch at Lonzo Ball because he was all fired up there. But all jokes aside, just the way that he handled those moments and helped this team will them to victory. There are some fans that are upset that I can't believe they lost the lead. What are we talking about? No Tobias Harris, no Ben Simmons, no Tyrese Maxey. Paul Reed is in your starting rotation, right? And he ends up getting a tough matchup at DeMar DeRozan. Good luck. And yeah, there was miscommunication that led to turnovers, whether it was a lack of cutting to the basket, coming off of the wing, or you could tell that the unit that was out there did not log in a ton of minutes previously, where they're a little lost. They're one step behind one another, but that makes a lot of sense. I don't see how in anyone's mind you could be disappointed in the fact that at times things got shaky and you lost the lead. First off, you won 5 straight games. You're significantly shorthanded. You're going on the road to play a team that you just beat a little bit of time ago, so it's still fresh. The wound is still there, and it's difficult to beat the same team 2 times in 1 week, let alone how much salary cap is not available for you right now, whether it's Ben Simmons being a brat, whether it's Tobias Harris and COVID protocols, Matisse Thybulle, same thing. You put your hands up. The fact that they closed out that game, that's a magnificent journey to leave Chicago with a victory, 8-2 on the year. We would have been satisfied if Ben Simmons was here and there was no drama with 8-2 in the regular season. The fact they're doing it this way, I got to give a ton of credit to Doc Rivers. By the way, the fact I haven't said Furkan's name yet is just blasphemy, and I apologize, and I'll get to him in one moment after we discuss Doc Rivers. This is very difficult to deal with, okay? So Yeah, you've all been listening to me for quite some time, I imagine. If you aren't, hey, welcome aboard. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for following here and embracing the journey as we break down Philadelphia sports every day. But I digress. My point is, I'm not the biggest, the most important thing for an NBA coach is, X and O strategy. If you have a championship caliber players, if you have superstar talent, you're going to win a championship. Isolation ball, go get me a basket, right? Go get me a bucket. There's 4 minutes to go, back and forth. Let's go score some points and score and create at will. You hand your ball off to your best player and say, go make a play for me. What I do think is very important and extremely valuable from a coaching perspective is what the demeanor is like of the team, the energy is like, some things off the court. I'm not trying to downplay X's and O's. Yes, X's and O's do matter. Yes, strategy does matter. But I think what value is really brought from a head coach is the professionalism of the entire team as a whole. And if you look at everything that happened to this point, the fact that Doc Rivers has the team playing this structurally, this sound, and this bought in and this focused, some of it is just the nature of when a prick is being a prick, and that's exactly what Ben Simmons is being. If I'm being 100% fair, he's being a jerk off. He's being an ass to his entire team. Reports early on in the summer that his teammates wanted to go meet him in LA. He said no. There was already, no matter who the coach was going to be, a hatred for the way Ben Simmons is handling things, where it's I'm going to prove it to you, Ben. You're a dope, Ben, and it's going to bring the team together. That was going to happen naturally, but there was a lot of questions being asked, a lot of controversy, and Doc Rivers, as the leader with Daryl Morey, had to shush things, and it's not easy. It's not easy to do inside that locker room. He's doing more than just holding his own throughout these moments. He's showing why he has the caliber of resume that he does. It's more than just X and O. It's about the things off the court as well. And this is absolutely 1,000% proving that side of Doc Rivers as a head coach. Furkan Korkmaz, my God. Oh, my Lord. What? 7 of 9 from 3? The dude was ridiculous. The dude was letting it fly. I was watching it with my buddy as we were kind of setting up the UFC fights. We had the Sixers on prior, and we're jumping up and down, screaming like we're little children when Furkan splashes that deep. Same with Niang, and same with Maxey, and same with Embiid as the game inched towards the ending. But when Furkan let it rip, and you could just tell the confidence that the guy has right now, it's ridiculous. Good for him. Good for him. I used the hashtag #FlipBrodes the double bird when, was this early on in the this was the Phillies season. I'm losing track of how many times people should be flipping me off, apparently. But when the Phillies were going on that run, I wanted them at the deadline. Trade Nola, trade Reese, and I wasn't wrong for that thinking, may I add, but I'm just throwing it out there that as soon as I did bring that up in conversation, the Phillies went on that run, and it was enjoyable. They swept the Mets in Citizens Bank Park. FlipBrodes the double bird was 1,000% in action. I'll give Furkan Korkmaz every single right to look at me square in my eyes and just feed me. Just feed me to double. He can even say it in the Turkish accent if he wants to, if I can even say that properly. Get that Turkish accent right in my face. Say, fuck you, Brodes. I'll live with that every day of the week. Quite frankly, I think we should try and set that up because I deserve it. The dude's been a dog. The dude has legitimately been a dog, and he's been doing it in different ways with the ball in his hands, two-man game. Like I am thrilled with, one, how he has performed, and two, as a fan of this team, I'm enjoying every moment of the way the team is playing, but the way that he's playing specifically, it's unreal. It is legitimately unreal right now. Am I going to buy in and tell you this is who he's going to be forever? Of course, I'm not going to do that, but that doesn't downplay the excitement that he brings to the table, and the excitement of the brand of basketball that this team is playing as a whole. And since I just mentioned I don't want to downplay anything, I am extremely pumped up for this win, as we should all be. This is an unbelievable victory. I do want to point out, though, me personally, as we sit here today, the Bulls might win X amount of regular season games. I don't think they're as good as maybe their record says they are, or the start that they've had to the season. Now, they're still a good team. They're still an above-average team, definitely an above-average team, a playoff team, and to beat them on the road after you already beat them at home, that does not take away anything from the Sixers win. This is a totally different conversation, right? So don't apply like my excitement level, my joy for this team and apply that to what I'm about to say to knock the Sixers whatsoever. Let's separate the two. Proud, extremely pumped up for this team. At the same time, with DeMar DeRozan, with Lonzo Ball, Vucevic looked garbage out there. And is he actually garbage, or is it a product of the environment? Is it a product of who they were playing up against with Joel Embiid? Regardless, good team. I don't know if they're this overpowering team, though. And it takes time. It's a lot of new players, a lot of new faces. It's a new environment. There's buzz surrounding the team, which puts added pressure on top. But I've seen teams have good regulars. The Toronto Raptors for years won a lot of regular season games. And until LeBron James left and Kawhi Leonard was added to Toronto, they weren't able to get over the hump, but they were consistently a good regular season team. And I somewhat feel that this team is just a good team that's going to win some games, but I don't know if they're extremely overpowering. Once again, let's separate the two. That doesn't take away from how proud I am. And even when they were going back and forth late and shots were being made on both sides, I said to myself, even if they do lose this game, just the fact that they brought this fight, just the fact that they brought this energy and they brought this cohesiveness to the to the Bulls in that way, I'm extremely proud. I want them to close out. I'll obviously nitpick what went wrong and focus on what needs to change to make sure that these type of mistakes don't happen down the road. And I was looking at it as Maxey needs these moments. He needs this type of pressure. He needs these type of possessions when it's close, you're on the road, the intensity gets hot, the fans on the other side is screaming at you, right? You need to learn from that and almost embrace that to see who you're going to be as an NBA player. Well, he stepped up with some big shots. I thought Shake Milton, by the way. Shake Milton had 13 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And just to put it in perspective, Zach LaVine, when defended by Shake Milton last night, shot 2 of 8 and scored 8 points. So Zach LaVine scored 8 points when guarded by Shake on 2 of 8 shooting. Milton defended Zach LaVine for 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Just to put it overall, this team's defense and the buy-in factor on that end, maybe it's easy as they know they had to pick up a lot when Ben wasn't going to be active for you. That's a tall task. Hey, go do what Ben Simmons does as a unit. I know one person can't just stand tall and be that, because with all due respect, I know we crush Ben, but he is significantly strong at that part of the game. So as a team, collectively, can we buy in to picking up ourselves? Screw him. He doesn't want to be here. Screw it. Let's do it as a unit. And they are. I thought Maxey's been improving defensively. I love this. 8 assists for Tyrese Maxey, 1 turnover. Now, naturally, you're going to allow some offensive boards when you're missing Tobias, who can clean up the glass, Ben Simmons, who can clean up the glass. So you're losing some of that for sure, but you still find a way. You still find a way to grind. You still find a way to compete, and you're winning basketball games in greasy ways, and not only greasy ways, but strong ways too. When you played the Pistons and it could have been smoother, it was a little uglier than you would have liked, fine. You move on to the next game. I talk about this all the time, where even when you are fully constructed, you lose to bad teams. So when you are hindered a lot by a ton of circumstances, no matter what those circumstances are, if you're beating those teams that you fall to just because it's a random Tuesday night in October when you're fully healthy, if you're going to lose those games, which is what happens. A lot of teams do that because it's called human beings. When you beat them this shorthanded, I'm sorry, you deserve a lot of praise. And I can't wait to get to the Anytime Hotline to hear the reaction from you. Before we do, football fans, who's ready to score some free bets? Now you can when you bet on any NFL game this week with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers who bet just $1 on either team to score can win $100 in free bets. When a team scores, you score. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also get skin in the game with new same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Brodes. Bet just $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score. With promo code Brodes this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And I think, real quickly, before we slot it over to the calls, something I've been consistently saying is you can point at many different parts of the game and it'll be a different player stepping up. So Shake Milton in a certain area. Maxey in a certain area. Embiid, a lot of turnovers, but made a dagger shot and silenced after a big shot made. Niang, not his greatest performance. Crucial moment, though. Bang, a three home. Maxey, mid-range jumper late. Furkan, are you kidding me? I feel like Tom McGinnis. Are you kidding me? I'm having a blast watching this kid compete. 100%, 1,000% honest. And it's funny, I see some of the comments in some of the videos. Brodes, you've come a long way on Furkan. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I don't lie. I tell you, I'm a man of the people. I just give you how I feel. I just give you 1,000% where I'm at emotionally at this time. I've destroyed the kid for a long time. He's responded in every way. Hell, the Sixers actually almost gave up on him as well. A lot of this fan base almost gave up on him as well. He said, screw you, put his head down, and maximized who he can be, and some, and added in so many different areas of his game. It's ridiculous. I feel comfortable-ish. I feel comfortable-ish when he has the rock in his hands. What universe is this? But guess what? I'm here for it. Sign me up. Their next game is Monday night against the New York Knicks. And just to be clear, I think that is an away game. I'm just double checking. No, it's a home game. Excuse me. They did just play at Madison Square Garden. That was a brain fart. They play at 7 p.m. Again, they have a back-to-back coming up. They got the Knicks on Monday, and on Tuesday they play the Milwaukee Bucks. And then they have an off day on Wednesday, right back at it on Thursday. So a pretty busy week for them. I wonder if the wear and tear on the body is going to be massive. Joel Embiid in a back-to-back with the Bucks, right? And the Knicks, you just lost to them, and that was a pretty ugly one. That was one where I thought if Ben Simmons was on the floor, it would have actively been different along the perimeter and the up-and-down play. So where are we now? Now, you don't have the luxury of just sitting guys like Joel, sitting players because of where you are with the safety protocols and where you are with some of your players. Danny Green's injured. So, that's definitely going to impact things. But where will they be in terms of fatigue? Where will they be with their bodies? Seth Curry continues to shoot, continues to let it fly. He's playing with a lot of confidence. And I feel Doc Rivers is giving him the sort of the okay to go. And what I mean by that is, if you've been paying attention to this Flyer season, which you should be, they're playing fantastic hockey. Cam Atkinson was asked about Alain Vigneault. And keep in mind, Cam Atkinson played a lot in Columbus, played under John Tortorella. Now he's playing for a new coach. And he's asked about the coach. What is it like playing for AV? And what is his system? And he's like, he lets me play. He lets me play free. I can be myself. I can stay true to what makes me such a strong player. And I think with Seth, the door is opening for him to take that next level of play. And Doc is giving Seth Curry that chance and that golden opportunity to kind of take that next step in his career, where we thought that maybe he'd be better suited as a role player, as a bench player, as a sixth man, instead of a starting rotation guy. And after he got a taste of what it was like last year, and he made such a big improvement, and he was a stellar player for you, it's like, hey, let's keep trending in that direction. Let's make the role bigger and bigger for him and see how he handles it. And the two-man game between him and Joel Embiid, with how much of a lethal weapon Embiid is, Seth Curry has just answered the bell and been magnificent. I can't wait to continue to kind of watch him grow. And he's had his, look, there's going to be ups and downs. There'll be moments of some cold nights. There'll be moments of some streakiness. But ultimately, Seth Curry has been magnificent. And this team has been really fun to watch. And with that said, let's turn it over to the Anytime Hotline. Hear from you after the game. Here we go.
Another textbook win by the Sixers. Have a great lead. Make the fourth quarter hell, but somehow pull it out at the end. And today's unsung hero goes to Furkan. I mean, Jesus, this is just crazy, all these players stepping up. So, my question to you is between Furkan, Maxey, Seth, and Shake, who do you think is the most improved from last year, or how would you rank from most improved to least improved?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a fascinating question. And I think they've all done such an excellent job where if you rank these, it's sort of like, hey, why don't you rank Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning, right? And clearly, I'm not making it seem like these players are on that level. But my point is, whoever comes in fourth place, it does not mean that they are not good, right? They've all made serious steps in the right direction. I mean, I guess, see, the thing is, I think the sexiest answer would say Furkan, just because it's more appealing to the eye, especially when you have the 7 of 9 night from 3 like he just had. But I think overall, maybe it's Seth Curry and then Furkan and then Maxey and Shake Milton. Maybe I'd say it's around that, and you could flip-flop some names. I mean, it's all really... It's somewhat subjective because it depends on how much you specifically as an individual peel back the layers. You could make the argument that Furkan could be number 1 just based off of where he is right now. And Seth has always had such a dynamic part of his game, and now he's just tapping into it a little bit differently. But I guess right from the jump, right off the top of my head, if you're just putting me on the spot here right now and answering, I guess my answer would be Seth Curry, Furkan Korkmaz, Tyrese Maxey, and Shake Milton. But that's no knock on everybody or on anybody whatsoever. Everyone has really improved and bought into pretty much saying, screw you, Ben Simmons. And that couldn't make me any happier. I'm sure Ben is sitting there extremely disappointed that the team is looking this serious, the team is looking this strong, and the team is playing this way. Because I'm sure he thought to himself while speaking to, whether it's himself internally or Rich Paul or his parents, just wait for them to lose games and it'll make me look that much better. It would make me look that much more important to the team. Look, their offense is running strong. They're running nice sets. They're spacing on the floor. There's pick and roll action. There's screens being set. There's threat in the mid-range coming off of that screen where the defender actually has to try and fight over the pick because they can't sag off insanely, and then the point guard just leaves his feet and tries to kick out. It doesn't work that way anymore, Ben, and you can see the difference in how an offense operates. And that doesn't mean it's all smooth. We've seen fourth quarter stretches where 7 minutes go by and there's no field goal and their only sort of production is getting fouled and it's one free throw made, right? Like, we've actually seen that to this point, but you can see growth and you can see confidence and you can just witness this team taking steps in the right direction each way through. Well, we don't have a closer. That's what was said early on, and nothing has changed. They still do struggle with having that go-to guy. But what do well? They move the basketball well. They pass the ball extremely solid. There's movement happening to get open looks. Niang gets an open look. Furkan gets an open look. Tyrese Maxey steps into a mid-range J. Open look. Ben Simmons taking that mid-range J? Hell no. Hell no. So they might not have the guy, the closer, from the perimeter standpoint that they need to go win a title. But due to their limitations, they can still find ways to get creative and knock down shots and get open looks. That's by moving the basketball and moving your body. And they've done that. They did that last night in Chicago, that's for sure. What's next?
Gorgie Niang, man. Who needs Ben Simmons when you have Gorgie Niang coming up clutch? And by the way, can Doc Rivers actually hold a lead and actually keep it without blowing it? Granted, we won, but still, you can't be giving them golden opportunities like that.
Nah, I'm sorry. I don't see that one at all. After you watch that performance, the last thing I'm thinking about is how bad Doc Rivers is at the end of games, and this is a Doc Rivers problem. The reason why they started to lose the lead, because you're playing a good team on their home floor. They're going to bring life, and you're extremely banged up and losing a lot of players. I mean, that's just the seriousness of the situation here. Look at the product on the court. To act as if there wasn't going to be a hiccup. Look, the other players, like when you're talking about an NBA game, the NBA is what? It is the most basic cliche ever, and it's reality. And it's not even the NBA, college basketball, high school basketball, AAU basketball. Basketball is a game of runs. To ever expect teams to just die and never have any sort of life ever, especially when they're at home and they have some respected talent on the other side, that's just not fair. That's unfair. It's a game of runs. You go on a 15-0 run, then the other team maybe in the third quarter goes on an 8-2 run or a 10-2 run to bank into that the deficit there. there to kind of creep back into the deficit and make it more of a game, especially when you're losing a lot of your player. Tobias was known as a closer last year. Danny Green is an insane floor spacer for you, whether you want to knock how poor he's been to this year. That is so extremely valuable to opening up what else you could run when you think about the court and you think about the half court. Him just hanging around the court in the corner is so important to the way the opposing team defends you, and that's not there. I watched that game and expected them to have a little bit of a drought. I expected the Bulls to make a push and score some buckets and maybe to take the lead. That was expected, but how do you respond to that? What does it look like from there? And I was extremely excited for the answer. So I'm off base from that call, where afterwards it's what was Doc doing? How does Doc keep doing this? I mean, these are totally two different circumstances where you blow a 26-point lead in the playoffs and then this, and then this. Two totally different scenarios. What's next?
Yo, Brodes, what's going on? I gotta say, I think this is my favorite team win, or a favorite win of the season. You got, we're coming off 3 games in 4 days. The Bulls are on full rest. You know, no Danny Green, no Tobias Harris, no Ben Simmons, obviously. I think this is like the definition of a game that you're supposed to lose. And we somehow pulled this one out. I thought the officiating was terrible in the fourth quarter in general. It made the game kind of unfun to watch, but both teams got some calls. But Embiid, 30 and 15, he looked really good. Maxey played, like 40 minutes. He had like 1 turnover, I think. That was, I thought he played well. You got your boy Furkan Korkmaz lighting them up for 25 points. Is it time for a new jersey? 7 of 9 3-pointers. I want to see you in a Furkan Korkmaz jersey on the show. And I don't know, Drummond, I didn't love his body language out there. I thought he wasn't playing very well. He kind of was like moping around. I didn't love how Drummond played, but I don't know. I think everybody stepped up.
Yeah, everyone did step up. Drummond, a little bit of a little hiccup, if you will. The Furkan thing, though, maybe we can come up with something. Maybe we can come up with an idea as the season progresses on what we can do. I thought you brought up a lot of great points, though. This was a game that you had in there, and are you supposed to win this game? Is this why you hate to write off losses or write off wins automatically throughout an 82-game season because you just never know what's going to happen. But I do think it's fair to think that it's leaning more towards loss than win based off of everything that was played out before, and here we are watching this team play. And Maxey, right? You talk about 1 turnover. This guy was a role player. This guy last year was a rookie getting thrown into the fire in postseason action, and he's just playing limited minutes, and now all of a sudden, after one of the most toxic off seasons that we can remember, he's playing 40-something minutes a night, and he's doing it actively, aggressively, going downhill, not afraid of the basket, the way that he goes to the rack, and the way that he finds himself in poised moments. It is not normal. That is not normal. So credit to him for being wired the way that he is, and then credit to Doc Rivers because I think he has an impact on the way that Tyrese Maxey going into the locker room. Think about the difference of, let's use the Cavaliers, for example. They hire a coach from Michigan who falls flat on his face early, doesn't know how to handle professional athletes, and maybe this is a bad comparison because one of the knocks is he treated everyone like a college player, and Tyrese Maxey being a college player is what he once was real recently here. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I think Doc Rivers and the role that he's playing as such an NBA head coach is so important to Tyrese Maxey in the way that he's approaching the game. Imagine if he was in Cleveland a handful of years ago. Imagine if he's in some of these scenarios with Luke Walton or any of these coaches that are just guys compared to a Doc Rivers that knows what it means to be a professional, knows what it means to play this game, and there's been knocks on him, the way that he handles veterans and the way that he handles, Paul George. You can talk about Kawhi, and you can talk about what happened in L.A. and all that, but, it's very impressive to witness the 40 minutes of play, the 1 turnover. He seems very well coached right now to run an offense at the NBA level. That's not something that I would have anticipated happening so nicely the way that it has, at least early on here. I didn't see it coming this way. I thought there'd be more mistakes, probably more turnovers, some sloppiness involved. But it's been structured. It's been good on both ends. It's been good defensively, too. Crazy. Real crazy. So with that being said, we're going to shut things down here. I want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me today on this episode of Sports Talk with Brodes, and I will see you next time.